Hello, welcome to another week of MMO Concept Art. I'm your instructor, Steve Curtis, and the gang is all here. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well, thanks.
Good.
Pretty good. Hi.
Helping you high.
Nice. Alright. There we go. Alright, so we're going to take off and take a look at the work that we have done tonight. Start out, and Wolf, I'm going to send it directly over to you, buddy.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Back. Hey.
Hello.
All right, so I finished this guy.
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
Thanks. This turned out way better than I expected, and I was fiddling with it, the lines and stuff. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, you put a lot of time into that, bro.
Oh.
And
No,
you
no,
corrected all of the perspective. Nice.
Yeah, I did that. I did make one error, and it's just in functionality that this doesn't work actually. Like this. Let me get a color. Like, jeez. All right. This thing, since it's over, this is like where the elbow is lined up. Since it's above that, it actually will go back. Oh, that's a. Jeez.
When you bend the arm, it'll actually break the piston.
Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a piston. You could draw lines there, and instead of a piston, it could be a
What?
hose for like coolant or something.
Well, the thing is, there's a few solutions to that because so this would be well, not that much, but obviously this going to here, it's gonna snap. And so like what could be done, a real simple fix would just be to lower this to and if you lower this to underneath the elbow, then you'd lower this equally or something, and just make that a little bit longer. And so if you did that, then it would bend, and it would always be this way because this thing rotates. Oh, I was hitting something that was making this bug out. So that's one thing, and then you could see like one of these little gear thing. You can see that's connected. This is swiveling on that, so that would still be up high, that part. So it still would be fine. What is going on with all this blinking?
I don't know. Why are you blinking?
I don't know. It's all blinking up there.
Oh, it's
Anyway.
probably, if it's blinking on your screen, it's because you have something overlapping the window
Yeah.
in Photoshop, and that messes everything up for some reason.
Ah. Oh, that's stupid.
Yes, it is.
All right. So yeah. I mean, of course, this could be gotten rid of, but I think that's a
I kind of like
Easy
the ideas
solution.
of turning it into like a hydraulic hose for pistons that are inside the armor.
Or it could even be like something to carry like extra electrical, like like electrical cables or something.
So what you're saying is instead of being a rigid form, it could be something that
That flexes, yeah.
flexes.
Hosing or cabling or...
Right.
and then it works just fine and sexy.
Right. Well, either way, I mean, uh, yeah. I mean, I'm not used to constructing things so like that. So I kind of I wasn't it seemed practical at first. I'm like yeah. And then I started realizing, well, that's kind of high. I think that's gonna bend back and break. But I mean that's the kind of thing. Now that I've done that, I'm not gonna make that mistake again. So it's kind of keep building for.
I think for your first foray into mechanical design, you've done very well.
Thanks. But I think I might like this better than the other two. And
I think it's a nice evolution.
pretty sharp. But looks powerful. A friend of mine said that these look like they were what's the word for? But like magnetized, like they could be like a
Yeah, they could be
magnetized
mag
thing.
boots. Yeah.
I don't know if that would really factor into any gameplay thing. I doubt MOBA stuff. But anyway,
It could down the
something to
line
think
though.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to consider.
Oh yeah.
That
You
heavy a
expand it
player
to-
has the ability to walk on ceilings and shit.
If they're made of metal.
That would be interesting gameplay.
Right.
Or you could just have like spiked pistons in the boots when you kick something, spikes shoot out or something.
Ooh, that'd be brutal.
So I
Or
was
or they could lock him to the ground and he could fire extraordinarily heavy weaponry.
Yeah, that would be pretty brutal. You can kick people, and it would let you shoot bigger guns. That's pretty cool.
oh yeah,
This guy does not strike me as someone that deals in subtlety.
It's true.
Now this thing, there's a practical reason for this. That's kind of blocking where the shoe bends. So there's there's a weakness in the shoe, right? Behind that. So there's that. And I was thinking underneath this there might be some like slots for like breathing underneath and like the bottom plane that you can't see. Like here, but this would be seeing it from the top. Like maybe for modeling it.
Okay, what are you planning? For some reason, I
You didn't
couldn't
hear it?
make your mouse.
Yeah.
No, I just couldn't see where your mouse was.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
I didn't
just
know what you
draw
were
a
talking
circle or
about.
something.
I did draw it like here, like the underplane.
Oh, okay.
Like little
Yeah.
slots. I was thinking,
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
little slots, but underneath the plane. So that's where like the air kind of comes through a little bit. It could still be, I think it should still be, at least thought of that it's not a direct hole to the face because I'm thinking this guy should be able to take blast of fire and stuff, and it shouldn't just all blow up here and burn his nose off. So anyway, but it might be an interesting thing. I don't know if you ever really see it, but on the model to just show a little something. So it's like since he is completely covered, engulfed in here, and this part, this is that connects there. Can you see the mouse now? Hello?
Gotcha. There you go.
Yeah,
I have a little
This-
bit of lag. Sorry.
a little bit of lag. Yeah, so that part is it's like a like a very thick cloth thing or some kind of
Something
what do
mushy.
they-
Something mushy but airtight. Future tech.
well, no, I mean it's something that protects. It's like what's that? What's that?
Kevlar.
yeah, it's like maybe Kevlar or something. It's like something that's protected, but it obviously it can't be something stiff where he can't turn his head. But so anyway, because I'm thinking this guy should be able to take a um, maybe. I mean, in reality, he probably wouldn't take a direct blast from a rocket or something, but rocket hits down here and the splash damage should you know
Well, and I mean, it's a game, so
you should be
yeah.
able to take it. Right, yeah, it's a game too. But so you don't want like the helmet just here and like all that skin showing or whatever. But okay, yeah, and then the hands. The other thing to consider is that the hand right here. This I don't know how well it reads right now, but this is it. Actually is a it goes in. It's a little bit of a ditch. So this has to be enough of a ditch in here that he can make a fist, and the fist is completely inside there. Otherwise, he would crush his fingers with the mechanical things. Because here this is his thumb right here, and then this is the mechanical thumb. So, the hand movement is responding to what his
What
hand
his actual
actually
hand
does.
is doing, yeah.
So those are the main thing to consider. And Sergio, you might be happy to see that I made a gap
A
between
joint in
this.
the armor, yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't
Yeah, it's a.
injure himself. But yeah. And it's still, I was a little worried about doing it because I like this kind of shield symbol. It's kind of a shield-like symbol, but it's not lost, even with the gap. It's not lost, so I think that's cool. But yeah, I mean, it's like anything here for the modeler, anything that's turns out to be not as practical, like this guy. Obviously there's adjustments and stuff. I don't expect anything to be, perfect. I mean, if you can improve upon it, that's all good. But here's at least something to get inspired about.
I do like
But
the
yeah,
design.
I mean,
I like the
yeah, me
changes
too.
to it.
Yeah, me too. Pretty happy with it.
Anyone else? Suggestions? Ideas?
Well, I really
General
like
thoughts?
what I'm seeing so far. I love the way it's coming along. I'd say it's almost ready to go.
Yeah, I would say you're at the point where a modeler could run with it and figure out anything that's not quite working
Right.
as your model.
That's what I figured.
I think we need some like future tech decals on the shoulders or something though.
One thing I really like how this turned out. I did this. I did this first before I ever did the helmet. Then I did the helmet. Then I put this right here, and this really makes it, ties it all together and makes it seem like it's one uniform. So enjoy that.
Yeah, I like
Stripe.
I like the color concept quite a bit.
The what?
The color concept
Yeah.
and the actual colors. That's not a scheme I would have thought of using in a video game. I would have done something more bold.
Bold.
Yeah.
Huh.
Brighter, sharper colors for a video game, but I like this.
Yeah.
So well done,
Yeah.
sir. So now
Yeah,
you have an actual 3D model to show us of it, right?
I like how I like to move the colors around. It helps your eyes look around the figure because they're in different places. Plus, it just helps you recognize what's going on. That these different things are different pieces and maybe even different material.
Yeah, no,
I
very
was just
good.
kind of
And
ducking that question.
and it's kind of
Every,
no, he didn't duck it. He just laughed. It was all the answer he needed to give. I like how it kind of kept the samurai feel to it,
Yeah.
because I did like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a samurai mech. You know, he's a little bit of a mech. You know, it's not, you know, it's a body suit. You know, but it's just like he can't operate it without the electronic things, and
Yeah.
so technically that's, you know, a mechanical suit. So, but
There you go.
but
What else you got, buddy? Anything?
yep. It's a lithium building working on.
Ah.
It's actually turned out to be a little flatter than what I intended, but
All right.
kind of like these would be windows kind of on top, bringing light in. But
And what inspired the shapes?
well, I mean, this right here, these are more crystal things, and I don't know. I just kind of had. I kind of had the idea of these little kind of round structure pieces. Wanted I kind of had a, you know, we've been doing a lot of like right angle lines and stuff, so it'd be kind of think, you know, why not have a more of a rounder surface. I think this looks a little too flat, but maybe this side should be, you know, the side part, the straight side part should be raised up a little bit. Not really sure, but it doesn't. It's not quite what I was thinking in my head, but
You thought it was more rounded in your head, higher.
well, what I was picturing in my head before I drew this was yeah. I mean, it's basically this kind of shape, but this is actually fine, you know. But yeah, I was picturing something a little rounder, a little bit, you know, and maybe it's just that the side needs to be raised a little. I'm not really sure, but anyway, it gets the point across. But it's not really quite finished. But you know, it's just you know, trying to think of things that don't look like human buildings necessarily.
And and for that reason, I kind of like the flatness of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into why this week because I want to see what other kind of iterations you come up with without influencing them.
Okay.
But there are some design aspects of this that I really like.
Okay.
But when
So everything
but,
flat.
yeah. Well, no,
Everything in the
just
future, make it flat. Got it.
God. Wolf. That's it. I want to talk to offline, Wolf. But no, try and do some that are close to what you saw in your head, and then we'll do some comparisons and some actual design comparisons on.
Yeah. Well, I'm, you know, it's much harder for me to do this round stuff, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. So, so I mean, I had a lot of different ideas floating in my head, and you know, it's like you know, it's like I don't necessarily get, you know, the perfect picture that I can like just draw off of, but it's like I see images and then I'm like, oh, try and make something like that, you know, without seeing it anymore. You know, it's like I either see it or work on it or something, but I don't know that I ever see it in all its details complete.
And that's
It's like
and that's a skill
see it in
that you will
pieces.
continue to hone all of your life. It's going
Yeah.
from just the flashes and then trying to kind of guess at it to actually seeing exactly how you want it to be.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
and
I would like to see some more iterations and try and get closer to those flashes of images and then do some comparisons on actual like functionality design.
functionality design. What do you mean?
Well, rather than just aesthetic design, does it look pretty? How would the different iterations function differently as buildings? So actual
You
functionality.
you want me to tell you, or you want
No,
are you saying
I want to see the
that we
different
would
iterations
think
and then
about
I
it?
want to have a discussion about
Discussion about it? Yeah, and just think what it could be.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, good man. And
All right.
and for the moment, I don't think I'd work on your armor guy anymore because I think you're kind
No.
of right on top of it.
Oh no, I figured I was done with that.
Yeah, sweet. Well, then we're
Yeah.
on the same page.
Yeah.
Just
I
be
don't
sure you
know- I don't
pass it
know-
on to offline wolves that he knows.
I don't know what more I would do with it. I mean, it's just like it's not, besides trying to turn it into illustration or something, which this isn't illustration, so I don't, getting,
Yeah, I think
that
you've
kind of
taken it as
detail
far as you can go.
is. Right.
Alrighty, Rich.
And then, I think the modeler could, I mean, we could discuss and, as it's modeling, we could look and see, those little different things to do with the issue with the arm and the piston or whatever.
Yep.
So
All right,
yeah,
cool.
that'd be easier that way.
All right, Richard, you got anything this week?
Well, nothing new, sadly. Like I'm still working on the head and the face. I'm not really happy with the eyes right now, but I was hoping to use this 2 weeks that we had to get that done, and unfortunately that didn't happen.
Steve, did anybody else have any comments on this?
Oh, that's
Nobody else mentioned anything.
Yeah, everybody speak up.
I think it looks great as a starting point.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. Kind of the only problem is like I'm getting like StarCraft stuff. Like it looks like kind of reminds me of like the human command centers from StarCraft a little bit.
I never played StarCraft, so
Yeah, me neither.
The humans had big like dome structures with like things popping off at regular intervals at the side. Like it's
you
not
mean like
exactly
these
the same,
round
but it's-
things, like tubular things,
No, they would be
or these things?
like which I don't know. It's not exactly the same. It just
Like-
gives me. It has a similar feel to it, kind of.
Like this stuff here.
yeah,
or-
it had stuff
or
on the,
the-
side. That,
or
it had like
this-
rockets on the sides,
okay.
like where the crystals
Ah.
are, and it had like the texture that sort of curved around the building. It wasn't necessarily tubes, but it was kind of similar, and it had a door on the front, almost like that. So, like that's my only real issue with it. I kind of like those buildings, but
Right.
it does look
Huh.
pretty similar to something that's already out there.
Yeah, I'll have to look at Star. Is it the original or the new ones, or both, or the new one?
I think it's both. I haven't played the new one enough to remember what their command centers look like, but I'm pretty sure it's both.
Hmm. But yeah, and this is kind of it's kind of bare detail too. So I mean, like it could have sculptures on it, statue. They could have things like that, or just kind of I don't know, more little details. I don't know if that would do anything.
I don't know if it would either, because it's sort of a silhouette issue more than anything else. Like it's not super similar, but it's pretty close. But it's not like we can't do something similar to the human
Yeah.
command structure.
Yeah, in fact, I would say as you do your iterations, do not go look at StarCraft. Just do your iterations and see what happens. Because the quickest way to get stuck in design elements that you're trying to avoid is to go look at the things you're trying to avoid and get them stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Well, that just it made me think also, I mean, I could expand this to where, actually, I could expand it to where there's like some kind of connection here, and then some kind of building thing, some kind of it's not gonna be enough space, but anyway, so some kind of building structure here in between, and then like another one of these on the other side, some kind of I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot
But,
of ways. To and in the end, hopefully, a lot of the Alethian stuff will be like the human side that Nick's working on, and it'll be a series of modular pieces that we can just stick together and make entirely different buildings out of. So I say just run with it, Wolf. Come up with some different iterations, and then we'll figure it out from there. But there are a lot of things I am seeing that are... It makes me think of that aren't actually on the design, but the design lends itself to them. But I would like to talk about those with other iterations and see what everyone thinks. So just run with it, man.
All right.
Run.
All right. So, but everything has to be flat. Got it.
Okay.
Actually, go further than that and think, what's good? Think like the Cubist painters. Like, don't even put the perspective right. Just make it really, really flat with bizarre angles, kind of thing. That'll be real helpful.
Not
helping,
helping, Nick. Not helping.
And you're making a joke. That was a lot of effort for you to say and for us to pay attention to.
It's hard to think while I'm modeling, and names just won't come to me. Like, I just now remembered Picasso's name, which is really sad.
And look how quickly we devolve. Okay. All right, Richard, you get a week pass?
Well, I could show you what I'm working on now.
Perfect.
Just for input, I guess.
All right. And it's 9 o'clock, so let's do bathroom, coffee breaks, all that. And then we will come back, and I will grab your screen, Richard.
Okay.
Good control.
Iron-fisted control over.
Yeah. Like, I mean, is that... Is it... Are you talking about before, like, the scripting, say the scripting phase? There would...
I don't know.
Well, I kind of see it...
Or it might just be like a scripting.
I kind of see it like Richard's got his daylight system that he's working on. And then there will come the day where we just look at how do we integrate that into what Nelson's built for a framework. And then we get to cover, what could be done differently or better or is best or may or may not work with the way the framework's been set up and things like that. But yeah, it's all going to come after the basic game framework is up and running.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like for anybody who's been learning programming and is at a point where they could help and still but I mean still be taught that it would be not only a great learning experience for them, but the possibility of just having more people help. I mean, it's a huge project, so it seems like
Yeah, we'll figure something out when we get closer.
Yeah, just curious. Hey, Steve, I remembered what I was going to ask you. 2 questions. Is NATO still going to be involved with this, or is he?
I can make no definitive answer there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to proceed as if no.
Okay.
because that's just the best way to proceed with that.
Yeah, I was wondering, 'cause I haven't seen him around for a
Well,
while.
I know he was throwing a ton of hours at that competition, and I can't blame him because it's a ton of money.
Yeah.
You know,
What competition?
it was a game level competition. I don't remember which game, but he won.
Hmm.
He won the first round of it and won like $1,000 and a bunch of gear and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then the
Nice.
second round of it is like 10 grand and a bunch of more gear and stuff. And he was fighting hard to get that. And I think at this point they're waiting to hear who ended up where.
Hmm.
But you know, will he come back after that? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But in the meantime, life must go on, and so if he does at some point, he's just going to be a little bit slave to the decisions that have been made,
Right.
and if not, well, then we just continue to carry on. So
Right.
I'm trying to keep it as pretty much a non-factor as I can.
Yeah. Okay. The other question was I can't think of the guy's name right now, but the guy who was really involved in the writing.
Ray?
No. The newer guy.
Oh.
And he.
I have. He was here for those few weeks. Him and his friends did a ton of work,
Uh-huh.
and then he disappeared off the face of the earth. And I never actually saw the work. So, again, I consider that... I'm basically treating that like it didn't even happen, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I did email him a couple times.
Uh-huh.
He seemed very badly to want to not discuss anything without having a private meeting with Jason. And as rude as it sounds, part of our job is to be gatekeepers at 3D
Right.
Buzz, and I was very explicit about exactly what I needed to see to make that happen, and I never got that. So
I'm kind of thinking that they were creating so much stuff that maybe they were deciding whether they should branch off and do their own thing or not.
and that may be
Maybe
the case, and if so, more power
Yeah.
to him.
Right.
Yeah.
What about his idea for breaking up like the MOBA
MOBO. I love that.
Yeah, the MOBA into like that separate an actual separate game but in the same universe, and like coming out with things like that as we're building
If we were seriously trying to do only production, and we really didn't care about the learning curve at all, I would lean towards doing that. Or just creating a MOBA, and then later we'll figure it out. But because we always have to keep an eye on where the training eventually is going, those are going to stay a little more connected. If for no other reason, then Nelson has to keep an eye on both sides of that and how they're going to integrate,
mhm.
and how we're then going to go back from the R&D and teach it. So I'm really not leaning... I mean, the first playable thing we have will be a MOBA, but the framework itself will have elements that allow us to expand, and those need to be there from the get-go. So,
They didn't need to be there for what?
sorry, northern expression. From the get-go, from the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I know the get-go. I just it kind of trailed or something a little bit.
Yeah, I'm having some audio issues tonight. I don't know
Yeah.
what's up with that. But yeah, so I mean, it's again, that's kind of where we thought we were is where
Mhm.
we are. We're going to build a MOBA as a beta, but the
Mhm.
framework itself is going to have that expandability already considered. Whereas if we only wanted production, then we would just worry about a MOBA and then figure out how to integrate the expandability later. But that's not going to serve us. So we're kind of just still where we were, following that plan. And we still like the plan of having a MOBA and a persistent world. just because, again, from the learning aspect, it covers 2 stones instead of 1, and
Right.
everybody gets to see both sides. So, hopefully,
Yeah, but
hopefully that
they,
answers the question without.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, they would be able to learn that anyway if you did 2 things. But yeah, I mean, I understand.
But they get a more linear learning experience if we're already building one with the intent for the other. They get to see that mindset as the code is built.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which
Makes sense.
the idea of one game and one game only is starting to become less common. People want to see a hybrid game type a little more often. I think. I know that's something I enjoy seeing. So.
And the
Designing a
idea,
project.
even if the coding is completely different, the ideas remain the same. Halo is a great, if short, standalone game, but that framework is built with multiplayer in mind.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. One is persistent, one is not. So I think it's a better way to teach it to people than, okay, we taught you how to do this. Now we're going to teach you how to do this, but oh, look at all the problems we're going to run into, and we have to make you unlearn everything you learned to deal with the problems.
All this code that we just spent the last several hours typing in, and we spent the last few months developing, toss it out the window?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a degree of that has to happen anyway. That's just part of the iteration of creating a game. So they're going to get plenty of, well, this is how I go back and fix things, because it's unavoidable. So we don't want to, like, intentionally put more in there and just convolute that learning process.
Yeah.
Now, the downside of that is the actual coding is really a much bigger job than the art side. They're both huge, but the coding is really much larger. So in doing that and following that framework, we do, to a degree, kind of make the art much more iterative. So we're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. But in the end, right now we have more artists, and making those changes in art is easier than going back through months and months of code.
Yeah.
So that's why we're kind of hanging out with that
Wait,
process.
making what changes with art? What do you?
Well,
missed
as you develop that game in both MOBA style and a persistent, you may run into
Right.
things with environments or characters or things like that that may or may not be working well for that final vision.
Uh-huh.
But it's easier for us to go back on the art side and make changes and integrate those changes back in. If we get to the persistent world and find some of the character archetypes aren't working for that story,
Mm-hmm.
we can make those changes, and we can just go back and plug that into the MOBA, and it'll just work. Whereas on the
Right.
coding side, that's not true. You're talking about ripping stuff down and rebuilding it from the ground up. So we're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul to make sure that the programming side can get done. And yeah, I think that guy really, he thought he could come in and sell this idea of we would be a production studio as a group, and we would put out this game, and we would all make a ton of money, and it would be really cool. And when we kind of shut that down and said, well, we want an actual playable game, but that's not the goal. The goal is for everyone to learn how to do this on their own. And I think that just kind of sent him running. But
Yeah.
so hopefully, I mean, the short answer is everything that was in place prior to all the things you just asked about are still in place, basically. And we still feel that that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Alrighty. On that note, because I started recording without telling you guys like 15 minutes ago, just because I thought that would be fun, and I'm an evil person, I will be switching over to Richard.
Oh, and my Grooble box is done, by the way.
Good man. Good man.
Okay, guys, what do you see?
I see the beginning modeling of the human
Vertices.
face.
Okay.
Ooh, mental ray.
Yep. So yeah, at the moment I'm basically focusing on the eyes, trying to get like the eyebrows and the areas surrounding the eye sockets down. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like there's any eyelids or anything, so I gotta fix that somehow.
I think some of that would be texture. You just need a little bit of depth between the edge and the eye.
Yeah, some texture and normal mapping will create that crease.
The topography though, I think the top of the eye needs to come out a little bit more because
Around about here.
yeah, like that area needs to get pulled out a little bit more. Not like a ton, just a little bit, because if you look at people's faces, that's a little bit further out, I think, than the bottom. I think.
Okay.
And then the other thing that bothers me is like the boxy nose. It needs to be more tapered and thinner towards the between the eyes, that kind of thing.
Right about here.
Yeah, it needs to taper out towards the eyes a little bit more because it looks like it's like a box nose stuck on the front of the face right now.
Okay.
That's probably because you
Well,
haven't got.
yeah, it looks kind of robotic right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, some of that you can go back in with the smooth tool and just sort of, or the relax tool and just sort of relax that area a little bit, and it should work out or get you started on it.
Okay. I've never actually used the relax tool. I'll give that a try and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's one of those things I use sparingly, but when I do use it, it's really useful.
Cool.
But if you click around with it a lot, you'll go, oh, what have I done?
Yeah, like, you basically just want it to, like, if you have a hard edge that you want to soften and you're not sure how, you can start with the relax tool and it'll sort of soften the edge a little bit before you start moving polys around manually.
Cool. All right.
The lips are coming along nicely.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
I'm glad those turned out because they were a... I can't say it on air.
A real bother.
They were a brat to figure out. Yeah. Most distressing.
There you go. But yeah, that's coming along. So you're doing a high poly of this? I thought you were going to do low poly of her.
Essentially what I'm doing is a high and a low poly mesh. The idea was to do the game mesh originally, but I've been having so many issues with figuring out how the topology is going to behave. I figured try adapting it so that it starts off as a high poly mesh, and then there's a tutorial that basically deals with taking this high poly mesh and
Retopologizing it to a low poly.
exactly.
Yeah, I think
And-
the term is decimate the mesh, or that you have fewer polys, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've noticed about decimation, anything that's automated, I have no control over where I put the detail.
Well, the sticky thing
Yeah.
there is, Nick's right. There's a decimation function, but then actually just creating that low poly mesh is often referred to as decimating your, even if you're not using the actual function. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
that's just kind of convoluted speak amongst the gamers. But
Yeah, I haven't seen this tutorial. I know you can just delete edges out of models, but that can get like really, really hard to do. Because I mean, you'll delete one edge and it'll completely destroy the topology of the model, basically. Like
Yeah.
the edges won't flow right, so it's
But
a dangerous route.
So what I'm really hearing, Richard, is you're not creating a low poly, you're not creating a high poly, you're creating a Richard is teaching himself how to character model.
Yeah.
I guess-
and that's fine.
Well,
I guess it's a case where I'm just I think I'm experimenting with workflows essentially.
Yeah, you're teaching yourself how to be a character modeler.
So I do apologize if that's throwing people for a loop or making people wait. I'm trying to get this done, but
Not at all. You are doing fine,
Okay.
sir. I don't see any of the rest of us character modeling, so, well, except for Sergio, who's doing high polys. But
Yeah, and I know that Serge is waiting on the low detail model that I'm gonna hopefully get out of this. But the other thing I was thinking though is that when I get around to it, using the low and high poly models with something like Substance Designer to basically create the final texture maps for a character.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how that works out for you.
So am I.
Because
and
I
I'm
don't know
really
anything
looking
about
forward to the point where I can try it.
Yeah, I would love to be more helpful there. I don't have Substance Designer, and I know absolutely nothing about it. Other than what it is.
I've looked up some tutorials, and from what I've seen, once you have the models to start working with that tool, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool.
And I'll be sure to send you an email if there's another promotion on the commercial license over the course of Christmas or something.
Yeah, I love Christmas time when I can pick up all the stuff I've been wanting. Alrighty, you got anything else for us, buddy?
Well, nothing specifically for the MMO. I do have another gun that I was working on for a friend of mine.
Can we steal it?
Well, I don't think we can steal it, but I
steal
can show
ideas
it to you.
from it? Can it be inspirational? Let's put it that way.
Possibly, yeah.
Alrighty, let's have a look-see.
All right. Essentially, the starting point for this was Desert Eagle 50 caliber. That he really likes that design, so we basically worked that into the receiver and all that kind of stuff, and then we just added stuff on.
Who's he?
It's a friend of mine.
Oh.
He's ages ago we worked on a mod for Doom 2. And I never did really get around to modifying the graphics beyond a few projectiles and some sound effects. Never did get a chance to modify the guns. So we've decided to correct that and move into 3D instead of trying to modify Doom 2 all over again. But that's the schematic that's being used as the base.
Now, is this meant to be an add-on to the gun, or is this meant to take the gun and just create a different gun?
Basically, yeah, using the Desert Eagle as the initial layout, and then adding stuff to it to sort of make it its own thing.
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, that was a good way to sci-fi out a Desert Eagle.
So, yeah, like there's a lot of areas where the detail is not really there yet. It's still just
just the block.
The roughing in, yeah. But it certainly is helping as far as the other weapons that I've been working on too, like the projectile pistol and the energy pistol for the MMO. When I tried to do the projection mod, the projection texture mapping for the high and low poly models, I ran into some pretty big issues with the projection cage on one of them. Normally it's supposed to be a nice outline that just goes along with the shape of the model, and for whatever reason with one of them, that cage just, it goes out to lunch. It goes all in all different directions, and it makes for horrible maps when you do the projection.
I don't know what it is about 3ds Max, but I've seen that a bunch of times. I don't know why it wigs out like that.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that when I initially created the model, the grip, the trigger guard, and the lower portion of the receiver were all separate pieces. So this time around, the lower receiver, the grip, and the trigger guard are all part of the same model. and that's presenting its own challenges. Like in this area back here, where the receiver meets, or where the trigger guard meets the grip. There's some hard surfaces there that I don't really want, but I haven't gotten around to running the cage yet for the projection model, or for the texture projection, but I'm hoping it will cooperate a bit more.
You'll have to let us know how it turns out and what you learned from how it turned out.
I surely will.
Alrighty, Sergio, you got anything for us, buddy?
Yep.
Woohoo!
Yay.
See, and you thought
Hey,
it
no.
was just going to be Wolf Night.
Hey, see what you did there.
Wow, I didn't even see what I did there.
Yeah.
Go me.
Clever. Subconsciously clever. So if we're making, the different, even if it was different games in the universe, or but now if we were combining them all into the same universe, like the MOBA version that's tied in, why not an Alethian kart version where they race around in karts?
Like Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's
Awesome.
I'm trying really hard to say, shut up with your crazy ideas. But Mario Kart is one of the favorite games of all time. So I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
there's that, yeah.
It's and you're already there with multiple players, and you just kind of go to the kart racing arena, one of those, and
If
start up.
if Nelson were actually listening right now, he'd probably be swearing at you because I can't imagine how many more mechanics need to be created for that.
How many more mechanics? What?
If we had
Alethian kart
Alethian Mario Kart,
Oh, God.
Or Twisted Metal. We could change it from a MOBA to Twisted Metal. That was another good one.
No. It's going to be all of those things.
no.
We're just going to keep iterating onto it.
You know Nelson has your address on file, right?
Yeah, but
Every-
the thing is, it's like, what other game is doing that? It's like, oh, do I like kart racing? Check. Do I like MOBAs? Check. Do I like first-person shooters? Check. Do I like MMOs? Check. Just one-stop.
One-stop game shopping.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm walking away. Wolf. I have to live in the same house as Nelson. I'm walking away from this.
See, but if we're doing that, there are people that like Farmville on Facebook, so we have to make the Farmville version of the game,
Alethian.
where you grow all the plants, and if you don't grow the plants right, then all the plants die in like a level or something. If you don't
Awesome.
water
You
'em.
see what you've done, Wolf? You see how quickly it escalates?
And there's
I-
Minecraft, so we'll have to have blocks, that can, like block people that run around.
I do believe they call this feature creep.
Yep, they call it
No.
feature creep, and they call it Steve knows exactly when he's lost control.
No. See how it works. It works as we do it one at a time, and it's just ads. And it's like, hey, guess what? You can kart race now. And it's, oh right, let's do that.
All right, that has enough.
A really
That
good
has
idea.
enough logic to it that I can't just ignore it. So,
Right.
but I can come back to it at a much later date.
Right. But I mean, it's like things like that. We add different things like that. We wouldn't have to like, oh, the game can't come out. It can't be playable until that features that. That's the feature creep thing. But it's just like, it's almost like it's like DLC. It's just added features later. Just awesome.
All right, so it'll be future tech, basically, is what you're saying.
It'd be future tech.
All right, Sergio. I am looking at some cool texture maps. Tell me what's going on.
These actually were meant I don't know if they're gonna work, but for the interface, like skill bars and target
Ooh.
bars,
Oh,
Nice.
it's the UI.
radar. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Check it out,
I don't know
Nelson. You
if-
have UI elements now.
I like it.
In Nelson
That-
world,
that
that
is
was
the
a
most
lot of
excited I've
excitement.
ever
Yeah.
appeared. Not talking about ponies. You know what? I just got a kind of an idea. Like, what would be cool is like this looks more future techy. So it looks like human stuff. So if you're playing humans, you should be flavored with like human
yeah.
tech looking ones, and then if you play as Alethians, it should be more
Well,
magical
you have-
fantasy type.
You have actually
Yeah.
both here.
Oh, you have
Um,
both.
Yeah, Wolf, jeez.
Let me see.
All right. It's a good thing I said that, or you wouldn't know that you had both there.
All right.
You're welcome,
You
Sergio.
got me.
These are the ones I did for the Lythians.
Yeah, cool.
You have the
Yes,
target
that-
bar, the skill bar, which is actually, let me see. I didn't know how many skills there are, so I did this
Yeah,
modular.
Nice.
cool.
And then you have the same for the humans.
Yeah. Nice.
For the humans I did several, but for the target bar, but I don't know. I'm not really convinced because these ones actually, I'm imagining they will take too much
Screen space?
space. Yeah, and well, if MOBA type games and MMOs and all of that, you have to actually make the interface the less annoying.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it might be too thick or wide, or not wide, but tall, or you know, might
Or
need to
or,
be
It
thick.
or
wouldn't be
just too
too bad.
convoluted with elements.
yeah,
Right.
It
But
wouldn't be
it's a
too
nice
bad.
look.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad, like, with the metal stuff, if you just, like, the only thing that changed were, like, the area with the, like, the caution bar there, whatever. Like, in that one, like, so if there's just, like, the one bar that would change, then it wouldn't be bad. Just because that metal would always be there, and you don't really see much, like, in the corners of your screen. So, I mean, unless that's going to be, like, front and center, it's not going to be bad at all.
yeah. No, what I did here is the target will actually be this, for example, and the name could be displayed here. If you have nothing selected, you could have this, and if you have some I don't know, extra information on the thing you have selected, you could add a panel. But I don't know how it will work, and I do have a little mock-up for the logo of Future Tech,
All right.
Nice.
and it's kind of a wolf stylized. But I have to finish it. I have to actually do it.
You got my ears right, anyway.
I love everything about that.
So
And
The future belongs to the wolves, I always say.
this, which is the same idea than the previous one, but if you have nothing selected, this will display, and if when you select something, you will have it, I don't know, like this or like this, and it also has a lower part that you can get rid of if you don't like it. I know this is pretty much all I could do. I mean,
Oh, that's it? I've just had it with you, Sergio.
what?
That was sarcasm, Sergio. I think you did a lot of work.
I did this today, 2
Well,
hours before the class.
Don't ruin it. What is wrong with you guys? You don't tell me that. You go, yes, Steve. You go, yes, Steve. God, I had like 2 days off, and the rest of the time I was working on this.
No,
Lie to me.
well, I'm nearly dead, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, you had the plague while you were creating this, so.
So I don't know.
I really like that. I particularly like the Alethean stuff.
Okay.
That's just very cool looking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure like how tiny they'll be on the screen, but I feel like the human. I feel like it might be a little thick, the human stuff. But like maybe like a thinner version of that.
It could be. I haven't tested
Yeah.
in any way. I mean, the dimensions are not really set.
Yeah, it's
so,
all just a guess.
Yeah.
But the design
gonna lie,
elements
though.
are very cool.
Uh,
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to grab these elements and throw them into NGUI.
Well, I'll bet that he can put those in Dropbox or in C file, and you can do that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and let me see. The ships you showed last time.
Oh yeah,
those
you weren't
weren't
there.
actually what I did.
I was so lost. I apologize for that.
No, it's
And
for that class. I had to send the laptop to be revised. This is something I was starting to do, but couldn't really finish in any way.
Oh, awesome.
cool.
I told myself, just shut up, wait for Richard.
Yeah, I had several.
Cyberpunky.
And well, I was doing the something a bit more realistic in a way, but I don't know. I haven't finished anything, but let me see where. Hang on. Oh, these are the ships you showed.
Oh, nice.
Holy coolness.
I did them a long time ago for a contest on DeviantArt for EVE Online, but yeah, not really the style.
Oh, so this was for EVE Online? Did you win?
Oh,
Yeah, no, not by far. Yeah.
Oh, well then they don't know what they're talking about.
yeah, I entered something for that too. Like, it wasn't the DeviantArt one, it was the actual EVE Online one, but they decided they didn't like the DeviantArt one for the game.
It was a wing. I mean, it was just a flat plane. The thing that won on DeviantArt.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because they do a lot of stuff that's just like a flat plane. Like, their
Yeah.
ships are basic, because they first did the game in, like, the early 2000s, so they didn't have that many polys to mess with.
Other than that, I do have this one. But yeah, not much more.
Cool.
Some very cool designs, man.
I agree.
You clearly have a head for design.
Yeah, I try at least.
I think Steve would like to see those flatter.
What?
Wolf's making a joke about something he said earlier.
Remember earlier when Wolf said, after all the diatribe about his building, that and also make it flatter? That's what he's referencing.
Or just to keep them flat.
Everything should be flat.
Because you wanted to say why you liked it, but you didn't want to tell me because you didn't want me to just like make them all like that. And so I decided I should make them all like that.
You have to understand, I'm dosing in enough. I'm facing in enough of consciousness. I'm actually in bed right now. I cannot.
Oh God,
really...
Sergio, just go to sleep. You don't have to be here, man.
No.
Well, let me rephrase that. Put this file in C file, then go to sleep, please.
I spent all week working, and I catch this thing, so I really hadn't do much more than this. So
Well, you did plenty, and dying is not an option. So that is expressly forbidden in this workplace.
Yeah, I think if I was sick, I would have done nothing.
But yeah, no, that is awesome, and I would love for you to drop that file and let Richard play with the Unity's NGUI and see what they look like. That would be very cool.
Yeah, I could do that.
And a good chance for you to get some
Okay.
feedback in just the next week or so and see how it looks.
yeah, on the sizes. Well, you have everything separated in layers. I think the naming convention is pretty self-explanatory. The Lydian things, you have an E here. Human things, you have an H. And that's pretty much it. The logo, you have it separated because I wasn't sure if I was going to put it there.
Well, you gotta have the
Did
wolf
you pick
logo.
Did you pick those letters randomly, or do they stand for something?
Wolf?
Just kidding.
Wolf?
Just
I
kidding.
want offline wolf.
And this, you have an extras because I didn't know what to do with this. So you have that. But yeah, I'll throw this into C file.
Very cool. Well done, sir, especially for the plague. Because, yeah, Wolf's right. If it was any of the rest of us and we were that sick, we just wouldn't have done anything. So, even me. Alrighty, well, very nice. I will look forward to seeing what Richard can do with that. And
No, I mean, I
you what? What? Hello?
huh?
There's a lot of lag.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember what he was saying. That's a long
No.
time ago.
Down briefly.
It was. For me, it was.
Right. Okay, Sergio, I'm going to go ahead and let you fade in and out of consciousness. and I'm going to go grab Nick's screen.
Okay.
And really, dude, get some sleep, man. It's
Let me know when you can see the Greeble box.
See it?
Greeble box.
I put a door on it this time.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay, I don't know
Does it
everybody
make that
else, but I have such bad screen
No,
lag.
no.
it opens and closes.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Yeah.
I'll not drag it around constantly.
Well, I want to see all the sides, but just do it with much more lag between changes.
I'll do it by clicking the buttons.
Put it in shaders so
It's pretty much the same, depending on how you save out your ambient occlusion map. Because they don't have a light source,
Oh.
it just renders it full. Yeah,
All right, I like that face.
I just prefer the realistic.
I like that face very much. Moving on.
Yup.
I like
Did
that
we do that
face
one already?
even more. Well, I want to slowly
That
go
one's kinda
through all of
boring.
them,
Okay, sorry. So we've got
just so we have them on video with my terrible lag. So we did that one.
did that one. This one's a little bit boring, but I think
God,
that
yes. I'm so glad you said
But
it.
it looks like, wow.
like you need one that isn't. It doesn't need to be as busy. Sorry, like you need one that isn't as busy, so it stands out against
Well,
all the really busy ones, basically.
It looks like a server rack or something, so it looks like a bunch of electronics to me. So I like that.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Then we got the one with the windows on it. I'm gonna rotate it around. There we go.
Very nice, very nice.
Doesn't really, like the little grading thing doesn't show up when just shaded, but ambient occlusion mapping will make it show up, I think. And those are the 4 big sides, so then we've got the 2 other sides, the small ones.
Now are these things that are going on those the cubes that they're building?
Yeah,
Humans are building out of?
and if you want like more armored cubes, all you need to do is just do like a flat texture on like the basic box instead of doing these like rebuild textures, basically.
Well, I wonder if they're not too busy. They're neat looking, but
Well, the greebling is to go in between, like, it's basically so you have something to put between, like, the more plain boxes. That way you have, like, it looks like there's something purposeful there. So, like, this one's intentionally not busy, so you can mix it up, use, like, more of the server rack-looking ones than, say, the, like, futuristic electrical panel-looking one. Just to have the contrast. So, I mean, these are basically the high detail textures for the boxes. You can do like flat, like corrugated metal plating ones and stuff like that too.
okay, so there would be plainer ones than what you've showed.
Yeah, like since you don't need a 3D model of plane, like you can just grab a brush
Oh,
metal
okay.
texture off the internet.
Oh, and just like kind of over that. Oh yeah, okay.
So these are just to map out like the more detailed faces for the boxes. That way
Yeah.
you can be like, I've got the fancy box and I've got the basic boxes.
Okay.
That is wonderful, sir.
But I still don't have C-file, so
Well, geez, get on that.
I tried to. I won't let me connect to the server.
Nelson, now
Nelson.
that you're back,
What?
Nick cannot connect to the C-file server.
Why not?
Because I switched my laptop to my desktop, and apparently it won't let me connect twice.
That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean it won't let you connect twice?
Like, I've tried to type in all the information again, and it won't let me on. Like, it says the connection's not available.
I can get in just fine. Have you checked your firewall? Maybe?
No, because my laptop's on the same internet connection. They're both wireless, the same thing. It just won't let me add another computer.
That's madness.
Are you sure you're doing it right?
No?
Let me pull up C-file. I don't know. Only did it the one time, and then I followed the instructions, and it failed. Then I quickly gave up.
If he was doing it wrong, then how come it's not working? You gotta think about these
Exactly.
things. Jesus.
The heck? It's not me.
Where did C-File go?
That was me. It's over now. Sorry, I'm muted.
There we go. Okay. So, yeah, I don't even remember what I needed to do. Add an account. What's this server?
I don't know. Pretty good.
Probably something, right?
I can just show my other stuff, and
Hold on. I'll give it to you. It's just taking a second for mine to pop up. It should be cfile.3dbuzz.com, actually. But I can verify that momentarily. Yeah, cfile.3dbuzz.com.
Alrighty, well let's try and work this out, Nick, and then if down the road anybody else has troubles, there's a video guide.
do I need the HTTP or anything like that in front of it? Because it says cfile.3dbuzz here. Did I spell it right?
No, you need to do HTTP.
Okay. Oh. I just have to remember my password now. Okay.
It's in your email.
Well, it's one of... I've got several passwords that I remember. I just need to try them out, basically.
Hey Sergio, can you, if you're still there, can you post now? Did you get that all worked out where you could post in the forums?
It gets flagged for moderation or for a moderator to
Ah.
check. That was what was going on.
So that it's still a problem. You can't post.
You
Yeah.
might be able to now because
Steve.
all first posts get moderated by Nelson, and of course Nelson was gone. So he's been going through a lot of those. So try again.
Okay.
Because it'd be nice if you could post some of your work in the forums for the called concept art.
Yeah, give it a shot,
Or
Sergio, while we
design
go
or
through
whatever
this,
it
and
is.
we'll see if it works, and if not, then I'll ask Nelson to fix it.
I like this picture I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
And I'm getting network connection timeout errors, and I'm not sure why it's doing that either.
Maybe you broke it.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, that picture is like one of the little docks that stick off the big tower.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like that.
And then there's the older inside of the tower one. And then I did sort of another rework of the ground view of the inside of the tower. I think the space between each level needs to be bigger, but
Yeah, nice.
yep.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Like basically everything from like these bridges up here to the top bridge should be one level, I think. And I needed to delete out the top bridges, but other than that, it's probably pretty close to what I was going for. Maybe just...
are you saying you would get rid of, you would have where the higher bridges are,
everything...
where the bridges start?
That's part of it, but like everything yeah, I need to extend the bottom area here too. Like I'll just, it won't let me draw a little box there. But basically from where my mouse is now to where the mouse is now, like where I moved it, this area right here needs to be taller. And basically from here to here needs to be a solid block if I'm going off of the previous drawing. Like, they're not going to be perfect because I didn't have the reference for that one when I was working on this
Yeah.
one.
See? But they look a lot nicer anyway with the details.
But yeah, that's what I'd done to do. Sort of messing around at work. Did like a really quick 3D model at home, and then painted over it when I was bored at work.
Cool. I like the colors in that last one. So
Oh yeah, that's
color palette is nice.
that was an accident, and I just left it there. Like I accidentally had my brush on whatever it is, linear dodge, so it was just like brightening everything. Wasn't supposed to do that, but I'm just like, oh, it looks good. Let's leave it that way.
Happy accidents are wonderful.
Yeah.
Has a little bit of a style to it.
Very nice, sir. And I'm extremely excited
thank you.
that you got your box done during class.
Well, I started it before class.
I said got it done. I didn't say started it. Very nice work. I'm really liking the color palettes that you
Yeah, I tried to
created
stick to
there
the same
and kinda-
color palette.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying that. I'm kind of liking that as a theme.
Yeah, it's kind of an Alethian green and yellow.
Yep, that's kind of what I was going for. Like, I actually originally did this one in another color palette, and it just didn't fit with the other one, so I'm just like, I gotta change that. Like, I think I did a better job rendering it with other colors, but yeah, needed a bit green and yellow.
Interesting. I don't know if this is a good idea or a terrible idea, but I just thought of it. It's like, what if when you're playing, that the Alethian eyesight is different, so even you're playing, even though you're playing from a third-player perspective or third-person perspective, you see things all with a greenish yellow tint, kind of, and blue comes in, but it's like, so it's like it's kind of mimicking their vision. So it's like in the same place. If you're playing as a human, it looks, you have, normal human colors.
I think that's a very cool idea. I've become increasingly convinced during this particular episode that Nelson's going to kill you, Wolf.
Future creep.
He's going to murder you.
Not I said future creep, not feature creep.
Future creep. It's a rival company.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, yeah, those look awesome, man. And you got the where are you going to drop the box if C-File's not working for you?
I could just throw it in a Dropbox folder and give you guys a link.
All right, or you can just email it to me.
Well, I think the old Dropbox folder is still active.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay, yeah, I'll just drop it open in there.
All right, cool. Excellent. Outstanding, sir. Alrighty, Wolf, what are you going to give me next week, buddy?
I think we established that going to work on flattening out structures.
I just wanted to
for
give you a chance to say it one more time. Richard.
Well, I'm going to keep on working on the character model, see how much farther I can get. Hopefully I can fix the issues with the face. And for future reference, it looks as though the different approach I took to modeling that other gun has solved a lot of the issues with the projection map, so I'll definitely apply that to future weapons.
Cool. What else are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to work on the heads-up display, Unity.
Excellent. Good man. Nick, what are you going to have coming at me?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Can we hold you to that?
And what else you gonna do?
Nick has another project to hopefully get finished this weekend, so he's going to concentrate on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I can draw you stick figures. That'd be pretty cool.
All right, Sergio,
Pew pew guy.
what you going to bring me, buddy? Sergio? Are you?
Blame.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh God, is he conscious?
I don't know. I honestly do not know.
Alrighty,
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna give you a sick pass, and we'll see what we get, if anything.
I'll try to do something. I will get something, but I don't know what.
That's what.
I
That's
have
the only reason I'm
several-
giving you a
several
sick
things.
pass. Because I know you'll do work anyway.
Yeah.
If it were Wolf, I'd
And
be
then
like,
you-
no, you don't get a
yeah.
pass. Do your work,
Yeah.
damn it.
Then you sound like a hero. Yeah.
No, I have several things unfinished. The models, the several concepts. So I'll see if I can finish some of that.
Sounds good.
Well,
A little bit
you
of
know,
cleanup work.
You always do a good job of figuring your own stuff out and bringing stuff that we appreciate. So
There you go. Couldn't have said
until
it
you
better
mess that up,
myself.
you get one.
Yeah, until
get
you
one,
blow
mess
it.
that up.
All right, guys. On that note, we are going to call it for the evening. Thank you very much for the outstanding work all the way around this week. And for a change, we will actually see you next week again.
All right.
All right, sounds good.
All right, everybody,
good.
take care and good night.
Yeah.
See you next time.
But